And welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and this is going to be an awesome video. I really hope this clarifies things for people in a way that they have never quite understood mods. Now, if you're watching this, I'm hoping that you already have a base knowledge, base understanding of mods. This is not going to be how to mod specific characters. I already have in-depth character reviews that explain how to mod certain characters. And this is not what mods are and the basics of mods, because I have an entire video that's called the Best Mod Guide that explains in generality what mods do and how they are. What this specific video is going to be about is how do you get speed? I want to cultivate an eye within you that when you look at mods a certain way so you can see the value or you can discard those particular mods that don't have value. Now, if you want to be good in Arena, then great. But if you want to be excellent in Arena, you are going to get to a position where you need speed. There are teams that are faster because they've got better mods, and you're going to lose to those teams even if you have a good team because they're able to go more frequently, more often. They're going to get their ability blocks or their buff immunities up before you, and you're not going to be able to win the game because they're able to do key things in that arena battle before you can do it, and you will lose. And so at the end of the day, you find that you need speed. And the biggest complaint is, how do I get speed on my mods? Now, I hear a lot of stuff on the Facebook page, on the forums, on stuff. There's a lot of confusion with mods. And so I'm going to clear up how you get speed the free-to-play way. Now, the free-to-play way means that you're going to have to pause your farming of characters for 5 days, okay, to farm mods every so often. I suggest about, once every 4 weeks, pause for like 3 to 5 days and farm for some fresh mods. If you're building these characters, mods can add 500 to 1,000 power, including other cool stats like critical chance and offense and speed. And so what I'm trying to say is you've got to stop farming characters and you've got to go into mod challenges. Now, if you can only get health mods, that's fine. If you can only get, critical chance mods, that's okay as well. Now, if you can't get critical chance mods, we have a problem, because in this game, there's the top 2 teams you need in the game is your arena team, so you can actually get crystals and stuff in game and have that to purchase things that you need, such as energy refreshes or essential gear out of the shipments. But you also need your scoundrel team, because that's how you're going to get your credit heists and training bots and all sorts of stuff. So you want your scoundrels, and the critical chance is phenomenal. But let's just pretend you only can unlock and do the highest health mod. First, my suggestion is don't fiddle-faddle with farming when you go in here with the lower levels, the tier 1 or the tier 2. Only ever do tier 3 if you can unlock it. Now, if all you can unlock is tier 2, then do tier 2 and don't fiddle-faddle with the tier 1. So pick a tier that is the highest that you can possibly do, and then take a break from farming characters and go in and spend all of your Cantina energy, buy your refreshes instead of anything else for 3 to 5 days, and have a bunch drop. Now, I want to explain the mods and how you can guarantee speed and speed high. You want really high speed, right? So let's go ahead. I'm gonna explain this to you. So when you have a mod, I know everybody understands the color coding, or at least I hope you guys understand the color coding, that gold is a level A mod, and that's like the best case scenario, right? Well, if you come in here, you can see there's also purples and there are blues, and people are like, well, should I roll this particular speed multiplexer with Tenacity to see if it has speed in its 3rd or 4th secondary slot? The answer is no. No. I see so many people wasting so many credits. They'll add this mod right here to the left. I've got it highlighted, and it's on the bottom right as far as the stat, and it's a white mod and it shows no secondary stats. So this is the deal. You're gonna get 4 additions or increases to your secondary stats. At 3, at 6, at 9, and at 12, you will either have a secondary stat drop, or you will have an existing secondary stat increase. So the way you need to see this with your eye is when you're looking at this, let's say this bottom right mod, I can't have any of my secondary stats roll upwards or get better. It's physically impossible. I will only get 4 stats to drop, okay? So the stats as they drop have a base stat amount, right? It's how much it's worth, and it's in a varying range. So if your varying range for speed is 5, 1 through 5, the best you could get if you're lucky and invest, you know, 500,000 credits on this white mod would be, if you're lucky and speed actually drops, maybe a 4 or a 5 speed. That's terrible. And you just invested all the credits that you had, so scratch that. So this is what you have to do. First, you have to find mods that already have speed listed. Do not mess with other mods that do not have speed listed. If the name of the game is getting more speed, then you need to find it. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. We're going to go ahead and find Ray. I staged some of these. And by the way, people, if they want to know, you know, does Warrior know what he's talking about? Let's go ahead and go to my Boba Fett. And let's go ahead and go to my speed. 252, okay? So I know what I'm doing when it comes to finding speed. Let's go to my TIE Fighter pilot. That's a big character people are using right now. And they want it really, really fast, right? 258, okay? And I don't even have him up very high. I've only got 88 speed on him. I'm using speed on so many characters that I've got them spread thin. But let's go ahead and go back over to mods. So let's go to Ray. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, because if you want speed and you want to be faster than your opponents and you want to only spend credits on quality mods, then you're going to want to pay attention to this. So here's Ray. I staged this Tenacity mod on her. It's this top left. This is a phenomenal mod. Now, a lot of people like, it's not gold, right? And gold has four secondary stats. It will have its secondary stat, its 4th secondary stat drop. And yes, the 4th one that drops won't get any increases. It'll be a base stat, which isn't the best, but it's not bad, and this is why. I already show at level 1 3 secondary stats. One of those secondary stats is a +4 speed. So when I do this increase, when I upgrade this, I have 3 chances now, because it does not have to drop a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd secondary stat. Instead of dropping those, it will go ahead and roll 3 times one of the existing secondary stats. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to go ahead and hit upgrade. So it's going to roll, because I already have offense, and I already have speed, and I already have tenacity. When I hit upgrade the first time, it's going to, instead of drop, it's going to increase one of those bottom stats. So I'm going to hit it, watch which one increases. Boom, speed, +5, 9. That's my first increase. Okay, it didn't have to drop a mod or a secondary stat, so it increased something. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to hit it one more time, and one of the bottom items is going to go up again. And it was offense. This is turning out to be a really great mod, by the way. It's got offense and speed, especially on Ray, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and do this again. Now, you got to hit it, I believe, 2 more times to get it to level 9. And let's see if it goes. Yep, level 9. And it increased speed again. So I got 2 increases to speed and 1 increase to offense. Now, why did that happen? Because it already shows 3 secondary stats. So it doesn't need to drop them. So instead of dropping them, it increases them. But watch this. When I get to level 12, that's the last increase or drop, it has to drop the 4th stat. So instead of getting an increase to any of these, the offense will stay at 50, speed will stay at 14, you're going to watch health drop. And health will never get any better than that superficial 0.87, because that's how it dropped. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the set level out, because I know this is a great mod. And this was money well spent. Now I know that my credits went to something worthwhile, and now I have a 5-dot tenacity mod offense with offense, speed, some tenacity, and health. This is phenomenal. Now, I've got some other examples to show you that are not quite as good as this particular mod, because I want to show you, if you're free to play, there's a lot of times you're going to get 3 and 4-dot mods, or maybe it only has 1 secondary stat or 2 secondary stats. So let's go ahead and go to my Asajj. I have Asajj in here somewhere. There she is. Okay, so Asajj Ventress, and I have one of these has some offense showing, or some speed showing. There it was. So it's another tenacity mod. It's a defense tenacity mod. So this would go good with my offense tenacity mod I just did. Now, it has one secondary stat showing. Okay? One secondary stat showing. So it's going to increase speed guaranteed. For a fact, speed is going up once. Now, I'll never get any more speed than that, but it starts at 4, and if I can get 3 to 5, I will be at 8 to 10 on my speed on this mod. Now, I don't know about you, but 8 to 10 additional speed is great. Now, the secondary stats, the second one, third one, and fourth one, will only drop in at the base amount, and I don't even know what they are. But again, this is all about how to get speed mods, right? So this is what I would consider an actual, you know, most people would consider this a mediocre mod, but I wouldn't, because it already shows speed, so I'm guaranteed one roll, because instead of having to drop its first secondary stat, it will get to roll it up. So let's go ahead and upgrade this. Again, speed will only get to roll once, but it's a guaranteed roll. Boom, +5, now it's at 9. I'll take 9 all day, every day on any mod. Now, because I know I have a 5-dot mod with 9 speed, I want to see what my secondary stats are. So I'm going to take it to 6, and it's going to drop, not increase, but drop a secondary stat. So it drops potency. That potency will always and forever be 1.27. There will never be another increase to that for the rest of this. Let's go to 9, and it will drop its third stat. So you get it? It's either going to drop that stat or increase that stat based on how many stats are showing. And we go to 12, and it's going to drop the fourth stat. And you know, the drops aren't very good on the secondary drops, and that's why if you can get a mod that shows speed and has the other 3 secondary stats showing, that would be best case scenario. But that's like winning the lottery, it truly is. It's not often that that'll happen. And I've got a couple other examples that I want to show you. So let's say you don't have speed for whatever reason, and you are unsure about a particular mod, about whether it's good or not. So you have this tenacity mod. It's a 5-dot tenacity mod. It's on your Cody, and it doesn't have speed on it. And you're like, well, you know, that sucks. It's a terrible mod, right? Well, this is the name of the game, is speed, but let's pretend you want to use this exact mod for a tank. Let's say it's for the Royal Guard. Okay, or let's say it's for 5s. Who counters, right? You don't need 5s as fast as all the other characters, because he's going to counter 85% of the time and apply speed down and all that good stuff. So let's say you have this mod and you're like, ooh, this looks good for that. You're guaranteed that the first stat and the second stat, because they're already dropped, you're going to get one of those two, or both of them, to increase. You're going to get 2 increases. So let's go ahead and upgrade it, and I'll show you the increases. Let's see what increases. One of those 2 will increase, guaranteed. And it was the bottom, 1,000 protection now, right? That's not bad. And then we can do it again, one more time, and one of them is going to increase again, either the percent or the total. And the percent increase. So now this has 1,000 protection and 4% protection add. Now, the next 2 are not going to increase anything. They're just going to drop your secondary stats. It got some offense, and then you might get some speed, superficially dropped. And so there you go. I did get speed drop, and that's awesome. But again, only time you want to upgrade a mod like this is if you see those first couple of stats on this mod are stats you actually are excited about. For example, if this was going to a tank, protection's exciting, right? You're like, yes, additional protection. Because maybe you want your tank to be tenacious and have tenacity mods so it doesn't get stunned all the time, because so he can actually retaliate, right? So this is a good tenacity mod for those characters that are going to get hit like tanks, but you got your secondary stats that you wanted. So this is great. Plus, the game blessed you. The RNG gods blessed us with a 3-speed superficially. So that's another mod that's a great example of why maybe you would want to upgrade something that doesn't have speed. But let's go back to speed, because again, that's what this video is about. One last example, we're going to go to Italia, and I know I have a mod on here. I have this accuracy mod. Now, this isn't on the right person. I just throw mods on people that I don't use, so that way they show up in swgoh.gg. So when I sync my account, it will bring up all my mods inside of that so I can see what I have to work with. So if you don't know about swgoh.gg and your mod syncing, you need to go to swgoh.gg and build an account, sync your game to it, and they will import all of your information and all of your mods, and then you will be able to use filters to find. Now, I have a whole video on that if you want to go check that out. It's in my videos. But this one has only one secondary stat. Again, this is only going to roll that first stat once, but it's a guaranteed roll to speed. Why? Because it's the only one showing. So it's going to go to drop that first stat, and since the first stat exists, it will then roll that first stat. So let's go ahead and do it. We should be somewhere between, 7 to 10. Again, 9. That's a great roll. And then let's see what they add. We got some health, we got some offense, and some critical chance. Again, if you want, let's pretend this mod was at level 1. And the accuracy and everything hadn't done. If it had a starting speed of 9, health at 325, offense at the 0.37, critical chance at 1.35, and then you start upgrading, you would have 4 chances of these things going up. It's how people get into the 20s on speed, is because of that. But I'm realistic, and what I mean by that is you're not going to find hardly ever, if ever, unless you're spending a ton of money on refreshes, you're not going to find those amazing mods hardly ever. So my goal is to teach you guys how to see with a special eye what you should be looking for. So you should have, if you want speed showing in the secondary stats minimum. If they're not showing in the secondary stats, don't waste a bunch of credits trying to see if it will drop, hopefully in that 4th slot or the 3rd slot or the 2nd slot. Don't do that. You'll never get very good speed. You'll have less than 5 speed on any mod. It's like 6 or less. So don't do that. But if you have speed showing, for example, this mod right here, this critical damage mod, it had speed already showing, and I could guarantee an increase to it because it was the only one showcasing. So I hope this helps you figure out how to get mods. When you're farming them, you're going to have to filter through them mentally, and this is how to do it. Just go through them, and if you see that they're white mods, if they're all you have, then use what you have. But I highly recommend zipping through, farming mods for 3 to 5 days, finding all of your green, your purple, and your blue, and your gold mods, the ones that you get, and figure out which ones have the stats you absolutely need that are showing, and then you're guaranteed to increase one of those stats that are showing. And if you want speed, make sure speed is a secondary already before, at level 1, when you start to roll. So I hope this helps you guys figure out how to get higher speed. You'll have characters and tunes with over 100+ speed, and it's going to give you an edge in the arena. As always, keep your gaming on. Warrior out.